Assalamualaikum and good day, students. Now we continue for our lesson for chapter 2 with the title is Information System as Competitive Advantage. The learning outcomes for this chapter, you should be able first is to define and identify the concept of strategic information systems. Define and explain about the Porter's 5 competitive forces that determine industry structure. Next is you will be able to identify the competitive strategy for business organizations and explain how information systems provide competitive advantage. Identify the value change and demonstrate how they can determine business processes and information systems. And last one is to identify and examine the business value of using information technology or information system to become an agile competitor or to form virtual business. So the outline of the chapter, the purpose is to demonstrate how information system can be used to help organizations develop competitive strategies by adopting Porter's competitive forces model. And then the first section will provide an overview of the concept of strategic information systems. The second one will describe about the Porter's competitive forces model. And the third section will examine the strategic uses of IS and the key feature of strategic IS. And the fourth section discuss how value change and IS help business identify opportunities for strategic IS application. And finally, the fifth section is to identify the business value of using IS for organization to be agile competitors. As you can see in this slide, this is Porter competitive forces model. Understanding about this Porter 5 forces, actually this tool was created by Harvard Business School from Professor Michael Porter. So this model has been named by the developer, which is Professor Michael Porter. Actually, this model is the objective of this model is to analyze an industry's attractiveness and likely profitability. So since its publication in 1979, it has become one of the most popular and highly regarded business strategy tools. So Porter recognized that organizations likely keep a close watch on their rivals, okay, but he encouraged them to look beyond the actions of their competitors and also examine what other factors could impact the business environment. So he identified these 5 forces that make up the competitive environment and which can erode your profitability. So these are the first one is competitive rivalry. Yeah? Competitive rivalry. So this look at the number and strength of your competitor. Okay, and then how many rival do you have? Who are they? And how does the quality of their product and service compare with yours? So where a rivalry is intense, the companies can attract customers with aggressive price cut and high impact marketing campaign. So also in market with lots of rivals, uh, your supplier and also your buyer can go elsewhere if they feel that they are not getting a good deal from you. So, on the other hand, where competitive rivalry is minimal and no one else is doing what you do, then you will likely have tremendous strength, yeah, and healthy profit. So about the supplier power, yeah, about the supplier power, here is determined by how easy it is for your supplier to increase their price and how many potential supplier do you have. How unique is the product or service that they provide, and how expensive will it be to switch from one supplier to another. So the more you have to choose from, yeah, so the easier it will be to switch to a cheaper alternative. But the view of supplier there are, so the more you need their help and the stronger their position and their ability to charge you more, that can impact your profit. Yeah? Next is buyer power. Here, you can ask yourself how easy it is for buyers to drive your price down. And then, how many buyers are there and how big are their orders? How much will it cost them to switch from your product and service to those of a rival? Okay, are your buyers strong enough to dictate terms to you? When you deal with only a few savvy customers, they have more power. But your power increases if you have many customers. And next is a threat of substitution. This refer to the likelihood of your customer finding a different way of doing what you do. Okay, for example, if you supply a unique software product, okay, that automates an important process, okay, and people may substitute it by doing the process manually or maybe outsourcing it, yeah. So a substitution that is easy and cheap to make can weaken your position and also threaten your profitability. So next is about the threat of new entry. Yeah? Threat of new entry here, your position can be affected by people's ability to enter your market. So think about how easily this could be done. How easy is it to get a foothold in your industry or market? And how much will it cost? And how tightly is your sector regulated? So, if it takes little money and effort to enter your market and compete effectively, or if you have little protection for your key technology, then rivals can quickly enter your market and weaken your position. If you have strong and durable barriers to entry, uh, then you can preserve a favorable position and also take a fair advantage of it. So this is a more explanation on the five forces in the Porter's competitive model. So the first one is bargaining power of buyers. So I have mentioned before about each forces in this Porter's competitive model. So this is the first one, bargaining power of buyer. So actually, the potential buyer have the capability to bargain over or increase the prices charged and demand better quality and also the service of products by business organization. And here in the bargaining power of buyers, buyers have control to drive down business organization product prices. Next is threat of new entry into an industry. So they are considered threat because they will have the potential to increase the industry capacity, begin the competition for market share, and also the lower current costs. And next is intensity of rivalry among existing competitors. So here, the competitive struggle for market share between organizations in that industry is referred to as a rivalry. So the fourth forces is a threat of substitute products. So here the threat of substitute products occur when customer can easily switch to the competitors' products, and this affect the business organization profits and prices. Last one is bargaining power of supplier. So here, suppliers have bargaining power when they have the potential to increase the prices of input such as labor, raw materials and services, or the cost of industry in other ways. So now is about strategies for competitive advantage. In order to succeed in business, organizations need to adopt one or more of the following competitive strategies. So the first one is cost leadership strategies. In this leadership strategy, this is applied when business organization have the edge to get more sales from the potential and existing consumer and also from their competitors' existing consumer. Second strategy is differentiation strategy. So here involves making organization products or services different from and more attractive than those of their competitors. Next is focus strategy. So in this strategy, concentrates on particular niche market by understanding the dynamic of the market and the unique needs of customer within it. And now, how we can choose the right generic strategy? Uh, Actually, for choosing the right and generic strategy is not easy as there are several underpinning issues that related to business organization. Okay, as we can see in this table, so for each industry force, maybe there are different strategy that we can use based on the three type of this strategy. So, example for the industry force in the entry barriers. So, for the cost leadership strategy, here is ability to cut price in retailation deters potential entrants. And for differentiation strategy, in entry barriers, customer loyalty can discourage potential entrants. And meanwhile, for the focus strategy, it can focusing develops core competencies that can act as an entry barrier. So for buyer power, for the force in buyer power, so in cost leadership is ability to offer low price to powerful buyer. And then the differentiation strategy is large buyers have less power to negotiate because of few close alternative. Meanwhile, for focus strategy, large buyers have less power to negotiate because of few alternatives. Next is for supplier power. In the force in supplier power, the cost leadership strategy is better insulated from powerful supplier. And the differentiation strategy is better able to pass on supply price increases to customer. And meanwhile, for focus strategy, suppliers have power because of low volumes, but a differentiation focused firm is better able to pass on supply price increases. Meanwhile, for industry falls in the threat of substitute. The strategy for the cost leadership can use low price to defend against substitute. Meanwhile, the differentiation strategy, customer become attached to differentiating attributes, reducing threat of substitute. And the focus strategy, it can specialize the products and core competency protect against substitute. And the last industry force is rivalry. So in the cost leadership strategy, better able to compete on price. Meanwhile, if you use the differentiation strategy, so brand loyalty to keep customer from rivals. And if you choose the focus strategy, so the rivals cannot meet a differentiation focused customer need. Competitive intelligence. So it refers to the process of ethically gathering and refining enough information so that it can be used by a business organization to make strategic business decisions. The competitive business intelligence is the use of IT, information technology, to continuously collect and analyze information about products, market, competitors, and environmental changes, and monitor the activities of competitors. So the information that gathering, analyzing, and monitoring allow business organization to increase their market knowledge, improve knowledge management, and raise the quality of strategic planning that then drive their business performance. In this slide, you can see the role of information technology in strategic management. So here we can see the impact of competitive forces and potential use of information technology. As we can see here, the rivalry among current competitors. So here the cases is for the online institution, right? So here we can see the rivalry among current competitors is the existing online institution can provide better quality, cheaper service, etc. So there is new entrant here. For new entrant, here is the new online institution. Either the private or the public that entering the territory. So the internet reduce barriers to entry as investment in physical asset become minimal, while in the buyer of educational services, the student can move to other schools in online distance education, and students can potentially enroll at schools anywhere in the world. This is because of the internet. Internet reduce the switching costs and save the bargaining power to the learner. And meanwhile, there is for the supplier, bargaining supplier. So especially in distance education, suppliers such as publisher, professional organizations, and database manager can produce and market self-learning package. So with the internet, it provides a channel for supplier to reach the end user. The procurement over the internet raises bargaining power over suppliers, and then also reduce differentiation because of the need of the standard of the standardization. Okay, and a new ICTs. This is the substitute that can arise from new generation of ICTs and the proliferation of internet approach. So here, in these forces, internet can expand the size of the market. The pace of the change in ICTs creates new substitution threats. Okay, so in here in this rivalry among current competitors, The internet reduces differences among competitors, migrate competition to price, increases the number of competitors, lowers the variable cost relative to the fixed cost, thus it increasing the prices for price discounting. Information system strategy is part of corporate strategy, and thus it should be examined at the organizational level rather than at the functional level. So a strategic IS can be seen as the use of IS to support business strategy in which IS can help business gain and sustain competitive advantage. The strategic IS also can be conceptualized as the master plan of the IS function with the aims of identifying the required IS assets and allocating the existing IS asset in the most efficient way. Information system asset include the IS staff and its capabilities, and also the IS process, IS budget, and IS application and infrastructure. And these IS strategies also be conceptualized as the role IS has to play within an organization. So the IS strategy has the specific objective to achieve the better result than one competitors. This is include providing new services to customer or supplier, increasing customer switching costs, and also the locking in supplier. The most common type of strategic IS are, the first one is decision support system, or we call it as DSS. Here, an interactive system used by individuals that have little experience with IT and also analytical methods. Next is enterprise resource planning, or we know it as ERP. So here, a system that designed to manage and facilitate the production orders, production plans, and also inventories. And last one is database management system. So here, database management system is a collection of data stored together with their description and a hardware or software system where the data managed, modified, and also can be retrieved and also can be secured. Next is about the business value chain. So actually the value chain describe the activities within and around the organization that create the final product or service. So this value chain is very useful tools when the business organization wants to investigate the design of the business organization, and also to assess the whether different activities performed have the needed amount of value, and if some activities should be outsourced or terminated because they don't contribute much to the competitive advantage. As we can see in this figure, actually the value chain put forward by Porter that is very helpful in determining where value is created or lost in terms of the activities performed by business organization. As we can see here, the first one is inbound logistic. So here is the activities is inbound logistic. Here we can see the collection service here is by the time and request processing. And self-return is plan scheduling, plan capacity, and also proximity to plan. Yeah. So the cost and value of this activity will determine whether or not best value product or service are being made that satisfy the customer. And here in these operation activities, we can see based on the value of the product quality and also the quality expectation, the order fulfillment, and also the customer visit. Meanwhile, for the outbound logistic, the value we can see in the ordering, order fulfillment, the value of the emergency load, on-time delivery, customer pickup, inventory management, transaction management, and so on. Next is for the marketing and sales activities. The value chain we can see in the account management, pricing here in the pricing structure, total cost of acquisitions, and in invoicing, credit process, understanding the value of the product and understand what the customer needs. And the last one is the service activities. So here we can see based on the value of the customer call center, the problem resolution based on speed, solution, and also the customer survey, audit, variance reconciliation, and also the customer location audit. This figure shows us the strategic information system, the value chain, and also the internet effect. So, as mentioned earlier in this chapter, that a strategic IS is used to gain competitive advantage. Yeah? And Porter's competitive force model is used to analyze the competitiveness. So you need to remember that the strategic IS is used to gain the competitive advantage. Meanwhile, for the Porter's competitive force models is used to analyze that competitiveness. Okay. As we can see here in this figure, the success of any organization operating in competitive global environment is hanging on the alignment of their IS with their global business strategy. So this figure describes how organizations can create a comprehensive IS value chain framework from the implementation of a strategic IS using the internet. The organization need to be innovative and identify the type of information system and business entities such as a customer, supplier, and project that best suit to their goals. So organizations that are able to do this will be equipped to manage global business drivers such as risk reduction, availability of skill, or inexpensive force, quality of product and services, location of material, and then also supply and supplier, location of customer, and countries infrastructure, particularly related to the internet availability. Yeah. So as you can see here, the inbound logistic, the operation, the outbound logistic, marketing and sales, and after sales service. So this is the primary activities. Yeah, the primary activities. Like the inbound logistic is activities that include the receiving, warehousing, and inventory control of input material. Meanwhile, the operation is the value creating activities that transform the input into the final product. The outbound logistic is activities required to get the finished product to the customer, including the warehousing, order, fulfillment, etc. And marketing and sales is activities associated with getting buyer to purchase the product. This is include channel selection, advertising, pricing, and etc. And also the service activities, after sales service. This is activities that maintain and enhance the product's value, including the customer support and also the repair services, etc. With strategic IS, organization will have various means to interact with their customer and also the business partner. So as such, strategic IS enables organization to anticipate, coordinate, and integrate the business activities about their customer, supplier, and trading partners to expedite strategic changes. With the strategic IS, the organization become more agile and capable of long-term success to survive in the new business environment. There is a strategic level agility. So this is uh, strategic level ability. Organizations are able to define long-range investment decision and implement them to accommodate future strategic move and also the business initiative. So here, therefore, strategic level agility is a composite of three interrelated capabilities. The first one is strategic decision flexibility. And next is strategic execution capability. And last one is organizational learning capability. So what is the strategic decision flexibility? So it refers to the ability of organization to develop strategic decision that choice to develop strategic decision choices and switch from one strategy to another. So in here, strategic decision flexibility is known as the capability of the organization to be proactive and also respond quickly to changing competitive condition and thereby develop and or maintain the competitive advantage. With this, have flexibility in manipulating or juggling decision choices. This is regarding the investment of organizational resources. Organization can modify their course of action when encountering an anticipated situation. Second one is strategy execution capability. So here, allows organization to realize their business strategies through long-range investment or of their resources. So by having this strategic capability, organization can coordinate and integrate the activities of their customers, supplier, and training partners. And organizational learning capability, the last one. This capability allows organization to assimilate, share, and apply knowledge, and can build and renew their organizational competencies due to ever-changing business environment. And now, how to implement and sustaining strategic information systems. Actually, there are two approaches organizations use to ensure success in the development and implementation of strategic IS. The first one is reactive approach. So to the implementation of strategic IS is when organizations start to identify the known problems or areas where improvement to business activities and or process can provide strategic advantage. Then organizations need to decide on a strategy and build on the appropriate IS support. And second one is proactive approach. So here when the organization start with available IS technologies such as web-based EDI or we sometimes we know it as e-procurement, and try and match the technologies with the organization's current or proposed business model. So in the proactive approach, SWOT is strengths, weakness, opportunities, and also threat analysis, or an application portfolio analysis tool such as Internet Portfolio Map will be used to decide what system to implement and in what